Hi, this is Roddy with Brass and Backwoods. I'm going to show you what I did to turn a 5.56 brass into a tool to remove the firing pin from a Lee Enfield bolt. Let's head to the workbench and I'll show you the steps I took. All right, so the first step, I took the 5.56 brass over to my bench and put it into my vise that's not actually mounted to my table. I'll do that one day. And then I took my Sharpie here and marked a 2 millimeter wide strip so I know what to cut for the future. So the next step is getting your hacksaw and scoring the top so you can just get the blade started. And then once you have a couple indents in, then actually start cutting into it. Go down to about where the neck tapers on the brass, and I found that worked pretty well for depth. Once you have the slots cut, take the brass out and put it sideways in your vise. And then you're going to want to use your hacksaw again to cut those little pieces of metal off. But be really careful not to cut all the way through. I did that on the first go, and I just had to go and start over again. But just take your time. All right, so once you finish cutting off the extra pieces of metal to expose the tabs, I used my linesman's pliers to straighten out the ears a little bit, or the tabs. But once you get into a part after this where you file it down, you'll have to straighten them out again anyway. So you could probably just skip this step. Alrighty, so you're going to want to file off all the edges, make sure it's really smooth. It shouldn't scratch anything inside your bolt anyway, since this is brass and your bolt's steel. But I went over it with a file quite a bit, just making sure I got all the burrs and any sharp edges, just dulled them down. And after you're done filing, use your linesman's pliers to flatten the tabs off again. Here I used the handle of the file to deburr the insides. I found it worked pretty well.
So at this point, I went back, put the brass back into the vise, and I'm going to cut off the end of the brass where the primer is. I left it on for just structural support when I was fabbing up the other side. You're going to want to file this end as well, deburr it, and just make sure you get rid of all the sharp edges. Here's a couple pictures of the finished product.
All right, let's test out how the tool works. So I removed the firing pin from the Lee Enfield. So I want to decock it and remove this screw that keeps the firing pin from turning. There we go. And unscrew this part. And there. So this is where you insert the tool. There's two grooves on either side that these will fit into. There we go. And the firing pin's turning. There. Firing pin loosened, and now you can remove it. So yeah, this tool, you can see where the little ears line up into two grooves on the pin itself. Okay. So yeah, this completely disassembles as much as I needed anyway of the bolt. Now that we have the bolt apart, I'll show you how to put it back together. So first, put the cocking handle back, and slide the firing pin back on. There's a spring in there, so you'll have to give it push down with a little pressure to get that to thread back into the charging handle. There we go, it's threading in. And on my bolt, we'll just kind of stop actually, but let's go until the firing pin's flush in the back. But it doesn't seem to go any further than that anyway. So once you're at this point, you can screw this piece back on. There. And put your set screw back in. Oh shoot. Actually, I messed up. You should make sure your bolts or your firing pins lined up in your bolt. You can put your set screw in. Probably put the set screw in first. the bolt face back in. There, firing pin back together. Bolt back together. The bolt's back in my Lee Enfield, and I'm ready to head off to the range. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching.